So hi, my name's Johnny. I'm originally from Sheffield. I still live in Sheffield, having been away to university. I'm 34 years old. I run my own design company, design studio, doing work on interiors, product design. I also deliver training and then run a number of initiatives for Sheffield, which is Petra Good Sheffield, with my business partner Penny, who I also support running, that she leads on the Sheffield Soup movement. And we have a big kind of grand project for the rest of our lives called Mount Pleasant. Well, we're saving Mount Pleasant first and then turning it into our Avenues to Zero project. Yeah, so the other projects that we kind of work on are Petra Good, which is a presentation evening using the 2020 format from Japan. We've been doing that since April 2010, so we've just done our 20th event. We keep that nomadic, we theme it. We've had over 130 speakers speak for us. We have live performance music, short video segues, fully compared evening, are all delivered on the mutual economy. So our amazing team of people come together and deliver a show 4 times a year that me and Penny curate. We do Sheffield Soup, which Penny leads on, which is a live crowdfunding project whereby people turn up, donate a minimum of £5 on the door. For that, they get a voting chip and soup. 4 people pitch for 4 minutes. They can be asked up to 4 questions. Those 4 people have been crowdsourced judged from, I think the figures are currently 135 judges, where people submit an idea. It's judged by those 135 people. 4 people are shortlisted, and basically after they've pitched, people have soup, have a chat, there's some live music, people vote, and the winner takes 100% of the door money. Because again, it's delivered on the alternative mutual economy where people come together to fund projects that make a difference. And because of our experience in doing these things, we wanted to create a place that this sort of thing could happen every day. So we have a Save Mount Pleasant project, which is Mount Pleasant site, community centre, the old stables and the old Highfield Junior School out the back, that we're trying to save and turn into our Avenues to Zero project, which is basically a new way to live, work and learn together. So we'll have co-living, co-working and a living laboratory in the community, creating a town square for Sharrow. And the idea is that we have 6 avenues that act as catalysts, because when people go on a journey together, that's when they form really strong relationships and bonds that brings a community together. And we reckon that there's 6 things that you face regardless of where you come from, what your history is, what your wealth, what your background is. And they are energy, housing, health and well-being, enterprise and skills, the environment and food. And we reckon they're the 6 key things that everybody needs to work out how they're going to get, achieve or earn enough money for. And by bringing people together to solve problems around that, we're creating a platform that will hopefully bring the community together. I think that kind of the lines between this thing that used to be referred to art and it kind of being separate to other stuff has very much blurred nowadays. It's not blurring, it has blurred and it's become integrated into so much. A lot of the work that I do isn't kind of picking chairs out of a catalogue, it's custom making things and upcycling things and transferring and changing things into new things that have a narrative and a story to them. And the only way you can do that is by bringing lots of different things together, a lot of which are kind of artistic and creative. So I think transformative art is, for me, the fact that art is transforming everything and is part of everything, and that's through the work that I do in my design consultancy, is through the work that we do with Petra Good, the event we run. And I mean, that's got art from all sorts of different backgrounds in it, from poets to artists to musicians, and every kind of cross spectrum of the kind of artistic creative continuum. is integrated into that, and I don't think you can really separate out the two, because art is always transforming things. When I'm working on a project, I've constantly strived to kind of try and explain or understand the process that I go through. And the best way I have at the moment, because it is always changing, is basically, I refer to it as thinking inside the box. So everybody always talks about thinking outside the box, which is actually from a 19th century puzzle with the 9 dots, and you have to go outside of the borders of the 9 dots in order to be able to join them all in 4 straight lines. That's basically where the saying comes from. I think that the only way to create great design and create art that kind of people can connect to, and stories that people can connect to, is by thinking inside the box, by which I mean you need to understand the context within which you are designing or creating or solving a problem. And the more you can understand about that context of that box, the better that you can design and create things for people. So when I'm setting out on doing an interiors project, obviously talk with the client, talk with as many people as possible that are involved in the building or the space or the office, or who work there or use the space, and try and eke out those customer journeys and bring them together, identify any problems that we've got, try and work out solutions to them, but by using the expertise of the people that work in those areas, because most people know what the problems are in their areas or their workflow or their kind of customer issues. And then basically take all that information and spend a load of time in the space, hopefully watching people and how they use it. So take the way that people perceive what they're doing, but then also observe the way that they do it. And by bringing those two things together, hopefully you can identify what actually goes on, what needs to be improved. And I try and create basically a narrative for the space, because really great pieces of design, whether that's kind of something you hold in your hand as a product, or something you use, or a space you interact with, you form a relationship with. And the best way to form a relationship with something is if it has a story and it has meaning behind it, it has purpose and it has reason. And that hopefully therefore goes on to inform the choices and the decisions and the materials and the aesthetics and the way that you move through the space. So in effect, you're creating a relationship between that space and those people, which is, it feels right, and people can't necessarily identify one little thing or put their finger on exactly how it works, but there is so many little details in there that have a reason, because we've explored and understood them, that when we bring them together, people walk in for the first time and just get the space and why it's there and who it's for, or what the company does.
Hi, I'm Gio Law. I'm 31 years old and I hail from Sheffield. I'm a freelance illustrator, and that's where I'm based. I'm based in the city of Sheffield. When I see a big wall like that, it's like a A4 exercise book where you just doodle in it. That's what I see. I just see like a space that I can doodle all these ideas onto. And yeah, there's a bit of planning involved, but a lot of the time I think they like the spontaneity of it. They like it if I'm coming in work hours and there's people around, staff, and I just kind of go, cool, watch me do this. And they go, oh wow. And then I kind of go, cool, you like it? What else can I put on there? Come on, tell me like a funny story about you guys. This is your artwork. You're going to be looking at this for like the next God knows how many years you're going to be in this office. I want there to be different things that you notice every time you walk past it, or like I want you to have a favorite bit in it. And so a lot of the time I just kind of try and piece together like their little in-jokes and stories that they can pass on. Because if you think about like murals in that kind of traditional sense, like Babylonian murals or like big Chinese tapestries, they all tell a story, but they didn't know what, they haven't invented the comic book form of like having boxes to kind of separate like different frames, but the artwork is just this continuous story, and it kind of one scene melts into another, and that's what I kind of want to like replicate. Transformative art. I suppose transformative art to me is kind of like art that kind of influences an area or like a circle of people, and eventually that circle gets bigger and bigger, and then those ideas become more kind of like mainstay. That's how I would see it. Because like what I observed when I was doing a lot of the alive art stuff was that a lot of younger illustrators from like the Hallam course as well, and other people from all different walks, started to see how all they had to do was just get out there and just draw in front of people, or just kind of just create work again. And I think like what was happening back then with all the live artists and the graffiti people, street artists, and indoor mural people, they were showing everyone that like they were kind of like transforming the whole idea of what it's like to be an artist. You don't always have to just sell canvases and stuff. Like your art can be applied to anything.